guys, how's it going? Welcome to my channel. My name is Erika. I'm so glad you're here today. So today's video is going to be all about the different labels that you see on products that say that they're cruelty-free. Now, I've seen so many labels that say cruelty-free or not tested on animals, or they'll have a little picture of a bunny, or it'll say no animal testing or whatever. And the reality of it is not all of these labels actually mean that the product is cruelty-free. So we're going to talk about those today. So the first thing I want to talk about is when a company just kind of puts on their product that they are cruelty-free. And it'll just say cruelty-free right on there, or it'll have any number of different images of bunnies or whatever that say cruelty-free. For example, Mario Badescu. I love Mario Badescu products, and I was like, oh, they're cruelty-free. And then I looked it up, and they're not certified by anyone as cruelty-free. This doesn't mean that they're testing on animals. This by no means means that they're actually testing on animals. It just means that they're not certified by anyone. No one's regulating whether or not they're testing on animals. So if you look at a Mario Badescu product, and I don't mean to like brag on Mario Badescu, they make awesome products. Mario Badescu is just the first company that pops in my head when I think of labeling, because they're kind of the company that I was using when I kind of jumped down this rabbit hole of like actual research into what I was using and whether or not it was actually cruelty-free. So if you look at a Mario Badescu product, it says in green writing on all of them, cruelty-free. Basically, for a company to put this on their product, they don't need to actually be cruelty-free. The reality is that they're not certified by anyone, they're not accredited by anyone, they don't have to go through any process to put that on their product. It's perfectly legal for them to just slap that right on there. I really hope that companies are being ethical enough to at least not lie to us about it, because I want to be able to make my educated choices about what products to use, and my choice is to not use products that are tested on animals. So when I'm buying a product, I like to make sure that it's actually certified as cruelty-free. And that's not to say that I never ever buy anything that's not certified. From time to time, I do buy a product that isn't, and that's just, they say they're cruelty-free, and I take their word for it. So the next label that I want to talk about is the PETA label, and there are a variety of labels that PETA uses, or that companies use when they're certified by PETA. This being one of them. I think this is the most common. This is the one that I see most often, and sometimes you'll just see the bunny, sometimes it'll say cruelty-free, sometimes it'll say cruelty-free and vegan, and then the other label that PETA has is this one. And sometimes, like, once again, it'll just have the bunny, or it'll say cruelty and vegan. And basically, for a company to use this label, they A, have to be certified by PETA, and B, they have to pay a fee to actually use the label. The certification process to be certified by PETA is pretty lax. Basically, you just have to sign a thing that says your products aren't tested on animals. And PETA doesn't actually regulate this. They don't check to make sure that a company isn't testing on animals. And they are a big organization, and they have a lot of other stuff going on, a lot of other causes that they're a part of. So it is understandable. Now, PETA is a pretty well-known organization. They've been around a while, and they're pretty big. But I have noticed that a lot of people don't agree with what they're doing. They're pretty intense. They really care a lot about their cause. And the way that they go about things kind of turns some people off. So I've actually emailed the company once and said, why aren't you certified by PETA or Leaping Bunny if you are cruelty-free? And their response to that, and I can't remember which company this was that I had emailed, but I remember that the response was that they don't agree with the way that PETA does things, and they don't want to be associated with PETA, so they don't want to be certified by PETA and use that label, which is understandable. PETA does do a lot of things that a lot of people don't agree with. And then they said that they were trying to get certified by Leaping Bunny, but that it was an intensive process. Which I hope it is, because I want to make sure that the things that I'm buying are checked and double checked for animal testing, you know what I mean? So I appreciate that, you know? So that's PETA. Let's move on to the next label. So the next label is this one right here. So I've only seen this label a few times on my products, and I didn't know until recently that this was an actual logo for an actual organization. And the reason that I think I had never heard of it is because this is an Australian organization, and they only certify products that are sold in Australia. So it makes sense that I don't see that on stuff in America, because I do live in America. I hope that I would see that a lot more if I actually went to Australia. So this is a company called Choose Cruelty Free, and they have a process similar to PETA's. I don't know a whole lot about it, to be honest. I do know that it's a little less intense than the Leaping Bunny process to be certified, but I know that it's also a little more intense than the PETA certification process. So somewhere in that middle ground. I would probably trust products with this label on it, but like I said, I don't really see that label very often. The last label that I want to talk about is my favorite label, the Leaping Bunny label, and it looks a little something like this. So Leaping Bunny is an organization that certifies companies and checks to make sure they're cruelty free. And once again, there's a fee to use that label, just like the PETA label. Oh my god, how many times have I said label in this video? I just realized that. Leaping Bunny is an awesome organization. They do check to make sure that a company isn't testing on animals on a regular basis. I believe for larger companies, they check every 3 years, and for smaller companies, it's a spot check. And I read on Leaping Bunny's website that they actually make the company sign something that says they will submit to random checks as well. And the 3-year thing I read on a different website, so I don't know if that's 100% true or not. But Leaping Bunny's website, which I will link in the description box, does say that a company must submit to random checks. For a company to be certified by Leaping Bunny, they also must have none of their raw ingredients tested on animals. And I've looked into this a little bit. A lot of raw ingredients were at some point in the past tested on animals, but that could have been decades ago. So when a company says that their raw ingredients aren't tested on animals, it basically just means that they're not currently tested on animals. But that does not mean that at some point in the past that ingredient was not tested on animals. It probably was, to be honest. Now, I've had a lot of companies kind of use that as a cop-out when I've emailed them saying, why aren't you certified? And they've been like, no company can say that their raw ingredients were never tested on animals. Those certifications, like kind of saying that those certifications are bullshit. But the reality is that's a total cop-out because just because a company's saying that their raw ingredients aren't currently tested on animals, like we know that. A company can still be certified by Leaping Bunny or by PETA if their raw ingredients were at some point decades ago tested on animals. Or even if they themselves at some point in the past tested on animals. If they don't currently test on animals, then they can be certified. So just like PETA, the Leaping Bunny logo can only be used by companies that have paid a fee. So just because a company doesn't have that logo on their product doesn't mean it's not certified by Leaping Bunny. So Leaping Bunny does have an app that you can put on your phone. It's called Cruelty Free. So when you're on the go and you're in the store, you can just search really quick a company's name and you can tell if they're certified by Leaping Bunny or not. And that's been a really great tool for me when I'm shopping, because then if a product says cruelty free on it, but it doesn't have the Leaping Bunny logo, I can really quick just search it on my phone and it either pops up or it doesn't. And that's how I know whether or not it's certified by Leaping Bunny. Because I have run into quite a few brands that say cruelty free on their packaging. They do not have the Leaping Bunny logo, but then I look them up and they are certified by Leaping Bunny. And that's really nice to find out. Alright, so that's it for today's video. I'm gonna put links to all the websites down below that I talked about today. The PETA website, the Leaping Bunny website, and the Choose Cruelty Free website, so you guys can do some research of your own. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more of me, or if you'd just like to hear more about cruelty-free products, please subscribe to my channel. Also, of course, give me a thumbs up. I'd love to hear from you, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, random thoughts, please write them in the comment section down below. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!